All right, welcome. I'm gonna just set this up. I gotta click this. Hi, welcome. Um, so today, we're just gonna talk. Honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm a little nervous, but this is my first one. So hopefully, together we can kind of go on this little journey. But I think that's what that's about. And I'm actually gonna use that to talk a lot about that. Talk on fears. Talk on being scared. I'm scared a lot. And so I think that's probably what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about being scared. We're going to talk about how it's okay to be scared. We're going to talk about what you should do with being scared and how you can overcome it. Because I'm scared a lot, and I think that I can definitely provide a new way of thinking about being scared. Because it's something I think about. We're not going to get into how much I think about it, but before you start listening to that and start listening to me, hi, very nice to meet everyone. This is gonna be my first one of the day. My first podcast ever. So I'm definitely nervous and I'm definitely shaking, but we're not gonna get into that anymore. Today it is February 11th. It is 11 a.m. It is very early in the morning. And I hope everyone's having a good morning. I definitely am. Managed to eat breakfast, so that's a new personal goal of mine. Um, and I'm really excited for the weekend. So just a little bit about me before we get into it. Hi, I'm James. Very nice to meet. Very nice to be here. And yeah, I am a freshman, second semester, so a little late, but I'm excited to be here. And really, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about being here. We're going to talk about being at Iona, my experiences, everything I've done, everything leading me up to here, and we're going to get into hopefully going to get into leaving and all the goals. So I as I said, I'm a first semester freshman or second semester freshman, first year at Iona, and it's really big. But I'm very excited. So really, I keep looking back because I did write down goals that I wanted. Number one, I want to get better at hearing myself talk because I really don't like hearing myself talk. But we're gonna hopefully get better at that. 'Cause that's what this is about. This is about facing fears, and one of my biggest fears is that either everyone hates the way I talk, but more specifically, I hate the way I talk. So, this is gonna be a bit of a learning experience there where I'm just gonna try to get more comfortable with being myself because that is super, super important. Um, you never really realize how important being comfortable in your own skin is until you actually are comfortable in it. Um, so a little bit about me. I recently started going to the gym since I've gotten here. So I'm about 6 months into being a gym rat. Wow. Yeah, it's different waking up in the morning and being okay with yourself, being okay looking in the mirror. That's powerful. It really is. And it as easy as it sounds, of just waking up, going in. It's stressful and it's a lot of work. It really is. But that's what self-care is all about. Um, it's about doing the hard work because hard work's really important. And a lot of people are never gonna see that hard work. But that doesn't mean that you should stop. So for example, I'm definitely not someone who when you see you would immediately think, "Oh yeah, that guy's been going to the gym." And just like for the record, like it really has only been 6 months, so I'm not trying to say that I am very a big or should be an expert in these matters, but every day for an hour, 5 days out of the week, yeah, I'm at the gym and it makes me feel a lot better. And you know what? It is super important that you feel okay. And that has even extended into a lot of my personal life. It's extended into my academic life. It's helped me take new challenges, really, because that's really step two of personal growth is definitely to take on new challenges. Like starting a brand new podcast, for example. Um, but really the most important thing is you just always have to keep pushing and you have to keep pushing yourself. And honestly, for because when I started at Iona, I came in with one really personal goal in mind, and that was I didn't really like the way that life was going and the direction that I was heading. I very much did not like it. So I realized that I really needed a change. I needed something different. I needed something new. And so that's that's what you do. That's really step 1. Step 1 of fixing a problem is acknowledging that you have a problem. Um but that's where I tend to get stuck. I'll be honest. I tend to be really good at analyzing the fact that I have a problem, and I'm really good at talking about the fact that I have a problem. I just will never do anything about the problem. And it does remind me of a really interesting I'm gonna have to find it again because I really would like to talk about it. The sort of rut that people get stuck in. I am your classic stuck in planning phase that I think everyone goes through at some point, and I'm just now trying to get over it. But what I'm talking about when I say like the classic planning phase, and what I'm referring to was I actually saw a really interesting video about this, about the sort of I want to say grift, because I do think there are people trying to make a difference, but the real grift of being like a motivational speaker, motivational guru, um, because I don't want to say it's a grift. I don't want to say it's a grift for 2 reasons. 1, I do think there are people working hard, and 2, I'm trying to do that. Not, pretend I know what I'm talking about in terms of motivating others to do their goals, but just in ways of trying to be more upfront, very human, very much if you watch a lot of motivational videos, if you watch a lot of motivational speakers, trust me, I've been down the avenue, I've been down the path, I've seen them all. They tend to tell you a lot of like the steps where it's like, oh, you want to feel better about yourself? Then you should feel more confident, feel more comfortable, take risks. But in watching all of these, you never sit there and for a minute and go, like, what risk? What steps? What do you mean like press past my comfort zone? And I think that's where I'm gonna try to be separate than all of them is I'm gonna acknowledge the fact, which not a lot of people do. People are different. People are different, very different. Um, if you want to take one experience so far out of college, there's one thing that I could tell people about college and why I think it's so important, why I think I've changed as an individual, where I think I've gotten a lot of value out of college. Like education, this whatever, but it's people. Wow. You really don't understand the scope of people until you really go to something like college. And that's where we're going to start with the first piece of advice. Or the second at this point, I'm I'm bad at I'm bad at keeping track. But that's a very crucial thing, which is just understand that people are people. So when you are trying to do your own goals, when you are trying to live your own life, something that I've learned that's really important that you have to keep in mind is that other people also have lives. Other people also have feelings and emotions. And it's scary to think about, but it is something that you do have to keep in mind whenever you are trying to pursue something. You really have to understand that other people are also pursuing same goals as you and doing it in a similar fashion as you. So that's something to very much keep in mind. And that's why at the end of the day, it's so hard to try to find motivation from external sources. It's so hard to try to find ways to stay motivated because it's so deeply personal. You almost really can't find it from another source. I think it's really funny, but to go back to me personally, if you were to look at something like going to the gym, I've wanted to go to the gym since probably my sophomore year of high school. I thought it was amazing. I had been there because I ran cross country, so we were in the weight room a little bit. I thought it was an amazing feeling. I got such an adrenaline rush. I felt so much better about myself. I wanted to go. So, what did I do? Well, I went home, researched about lifting, researched about staying active, what to eat, what workouts to do, what exercises to do, and I planned. I planned like crazy. Oh my gosh, I had workouts, I had weeks, I had push, pull, everything you could possibly have. Except I was missing a very crucial component. I didn't do anything. I may have had all of the steps. I may have had everything laid out and planned, but the one thing that I never was able to do was to just do, just act. And that right there is going to be the worst, but also the most crucial element about being motivated. You can be motivated to do everything you've ever wanted to do. The difference between being motivated and actually doing it is that I don't have apps. However, even though in my mind, when I was planning on working out, by this point in 6 months, I was sitting there like, I'm gonna be huge. I'm gonna, be able to like lift full people above me. I'm gonna be able to do, you know, I'm gonna max out every machine. I'm not doing that. I'm really not. I'm not even close. But that's okay because I'm going every day. I'm there for the hour that I said I'm going to be there for. And I am getting stronger. It's just I'm doing that in the real world. And that's the hardest part is living in the real world because when you do get into this sort of rhythm of trying to be motivated, trying to stay motivated, trying to find ways to be motivated. You go to external sources, you go to all of these different things to try to find ways to be motivated. But the issue is a lot of that happens in the mind, and I know it happens in the mind because I did it a lot. And I can only assume that if I was there doing it, there are probably other people. And that does bring me back actually. I should probably watch the video again so I can like brush up on it. But I did see a really interesting video about the sort of like routine that you get in. The how easy it is to feel content with just planning. And it's actually a really interesting science. And it was about how you can get to a point where you will get the same amount of dopamine release from watching a motivational video and planning out your goals. You will get that same amount of dopamine release just doing your goals. But that's where a lot of people fall flat. You can get that same amount of dopamine from doing your goals. You also can get that from talking about them and planning them. And you get to a point, I was there at least, and the video confirmed my bias. So I'm, of course, going to assume that is the absolute truth. You really do start to feel better just watching these things. Staying motivated, telling yourself you're motivated. You can put yourself into a complete rut saying you're motivated without actually doing anything. You can plan to do every single workout. You can plan how many reps you're going to do, plan what you're going to eat, but you do have to stop at one point and ask yourself, have I been to the gym yet today? And that was the problem I had. And I'm sorry that I'm using something like the gym. It's just using like something very physical is just the easiest way to talk about this. And hopefully, as I get better, I'm going to be able to explain more of what I'm trying to say. But using something as simple as like the gym, pick something heavy up, put something heavy down, eventually get to something a little heavier. Is just a really easy way to talk about being motivated, talk about goals. A lot of people do it. A lot of people feel better. So hopefully we'll be able to get into more nuanced topics, but for now we're going to keep it really simple. But it's simple. That's the word that I've been trying to find. It really is simple to do your goal. It's really difficult to do what you think your goal is. Going back to it, I've been working out for close to 6 months now. I'm very happy with my body. I do like wake up and I'm not absolutely sad anymore. But I 100%. I've been working out for 6 months. Like, yeah, I think I should have a six pack of abs and I should be bulking and huge with veins popping out of every muscle group that exists. But that didn't happen. It really didn't. And I thought it would. I was convinced it would too. Like I was going to be the next Hulk. I'm still growing. But I'm doing it. And that feeling is unmatched. It is unmatched. Just doing, just being, saying, oh, I'm going to spend, all week thinking about what I'm going to say for a podcast, what I'm going to say for the next 30 minutes to an hour. It is a different feeling just sitting there, grabbing hold of something and saying, all right, like I'm just going to do it now. And that's what you got to do. Like, honestly, it's just do. And that's the problem that a lot of self-help things fall into. I don't think it's the fault of their own. Or at least I'd hope not. I do think that workout motivations are every Arnold Schwarzenegger speech, the one Marine that said make your bed. I do think they had a lot of very good intentions, which is why I'm not trying to like necessarily step on their toes. But I do think that they all accidentally fall into the very same rut of not being aware of what they are. And not saying I hope that I could be different, but I do hope that at the very least admitting the fact that motivation and external motivation, like doing something like sitting in front of a microphone and telling a whole bunch of strangers to get up and do something, I feel like at the very least admitting the fact that I know that it can be seen as a grift, be aware of the fact that it is something that has been tried several times and is something that doesn't work a whole lot. But that's why I want it to be a little different. I want to just be upfront. I want to come at you not from this I'm someone who's super successful. So as long as you wake up every day at 6 a.m., take a cold shower, work out, eat breakfast, meditate, read 6 books in a day, work out again, eat another 4,000 calories, stretch, yoga, workout, as long as I'm admitting that that's not real and I'm not doing that, so I don't expect others to do that. I do think that as long as I'm admitting that, we can at least take steps into a much more healthier way to approach motivation and a much more healthier way of actually being able to do your goals. Because you really just have to. And that sucks to hear. That does suck. Because you really are looking for the cure. That one I'm just going to do this one thing. I'm going to invest in, the next Walmart and then make a bajillion dollars and never work again for the rest of my life. That's not going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. That's not how normal people operate in the world. And I'm not going to try to sell that to you because that's not even how I live my life. I've not even invested in the next Walmart and I've gotten $1 billion. Okay. I am a college student. I think about what I'm going to eat. I think about where I can save 7 cents so then I can buy a bagel tomorrow. I want to be human. I want to be normal. I just want to be a guy who can sit here and talk about things that he's passionate about and hopefully inspire someone to sit there and go, he's got a point. It's all I could ever hope for and ask for. But that is definitely going to be a topic for another day. This has been a lot of fun, and I do appreciate the time that I have been given here. And I've been having a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I think it was great. And with that being said, for another week, for another time, I've been James. Thank you.